what your son's habits. Oh yeah. Crack pipe body. Oh yeah. Don't nobody want your cake, you can have it. Oh yeah. Might as well bring the cocaine too. Bring the cocaine too. Joe Biden got the crack pipe store near you. Crack pipe store near you. It's bad enough you gave everybody Rona too. I'm pretty sure Trump wasn't as bad as you, yeah. I don't understand how lips like you. How can they like you? Can't believe people just can't see the truth. How can they see the truth? They're killing us right in front of our face like it's cool, yeah. Not cool. You don't like our country like that, you can move, yeah. You can move, yeah. Crack pipe body. Oh yeah, don't nobody want your son's habits. Oh yeah, crack pipe body. Oh yeah, don't nobody want your kid, you can have it. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Shout out to Loza, man. Just when I thought that he couldn't one up Let's Go Brandon, he did. Shout out to Loza, man. Pisces, y'all have a problem. Because, like, it's one thing to make such a fun song, but the audacity, he had the audacity to make that a banger. Make sure y'all check that song out. It's hilarious. It's amazing. Welcome to your full moon ceremony. Okay. I don't know if you're ready, but there's a cosmic coronation going on. And yeah, buddy. Thank y'all for joining me. I wanted to make sure I do this when the full moon is exact. So that's why I didn't do it last night. Shout out to y'all in Europe. I forgot. Shout out to Europe. So y'all, this is like evening time for y'all. This is lit. Bruh, the audacity of the synchronicities right now. Who else is going through just the crazy synchronization process? Let's have some fun. So I'm not going to make this too long and drawn out. I just kind of want to let y'all know, you want to look at this full moon as a lever switching, okay? If you have noticed, I want you to notice 6 months ago, right? And not necessarily, and maybe like 6 months to 6 years ago. I want you to notice maybe the subconscious receptivity you have had to the collective vibration. Many of you may have felt bullied. You're not being bullied, but you may have felt bullied by the social collective conscious vibration. Like many of you are awakening to your individuality. And so in awakening to your individuality, you are awakening to the collective unconscious response to your individual self as an individual. And it's been very difficult because your brain processes what you're conscious of, but you're not seeing the invisible unconscious current. Many of you may have felt coming up to this period, that unconscious current may have antagonized you. In the expression of your individuality, you may have felt different social vibes, perceptions, beliefs antagonizing you, putting you in a sense to almost gaslight you, make you feel as if you're wrong for being authentically you. And this is what makes it gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? Ashley, I'm so glad you resonate with this. It's set in a way with that what you're doing, you need to just let it go. You need to it's a good cop, bad cop, psychologically collective gaslighting illusion routine that you're now seeing through forever. Shout out to Drew, happening in the 10th. Yep, you'll know where this is happening. The reason why I'm framing it like this is in your development, you had to, there's so many layers to this illusion. So you had to go through so many. Shout out to Monica. The reason why I'm saying it is now what you're noticing is that same influence who felt hubris, like, oh yeah, we're greater than you. Now they're more angry at you. I want you to comment a fire sign emoji if you've noticed now more than ever, there's more passive aggressive anger and frustration because you are not a bitch ass nigga. And I'm just like, you are not a lame. You are not, see, like you're getting hit with ad hominem fallacies. I want you to notice how in the collective unconscious nature of this, you're getting hit with all sorts of phenomena to make you feel less than. And now because you, instead of allowing that passive aggressive psychological bullshit to work, it's only made you stronger and stronger. Now the same forces that felt that they would have broken you down feel more frustrated, feel more passive aggressive, feel as if, damn, they're not getting through to you. And what I want you to notice is, okay, what I want you to notice is, okay, what I want you to notice is you're gaining more strength. I wanted to make sure we're clear that what you notice is it's almost as if those same influences that have power over you, you have power over them. And that's what you're going to start to see reflected consciously. The whole purpose of this, because you are so powerful that no one can take your power, people have to literally gaslight you in order for you to feel less of yourself. Because if everywhere, and this is where some of you have tapped into the Truman Show quality of this collective illusion, where you can go somewhere and you're getting gaslighted by whole groups of people. Individually, if you were to walk up individually to someone and be like, why are you gaslighting me? They're not going to know what the fuck you're saying because that person is an extra in a movie. They came into this collective social environment with their own individual whatever. But outside of this reality is the holistic, and Pisces teaches us connection of all these vibrations that can be used like a director on set to get at you. And your spirit guides have been saying, like some of you are showing up late to places, right? And like there's certain events that occur that's like, okay, now is the moment that people decide to act slow. Now is the moment. It's almost like a passive aggressive, you know what I'm saying, interaction towards you. It's just so masterfully woven and crafted as an illusion that if you were to pinpoint one individual part, you can get gaslighted. There's plausible deniability. It's like the world doesn't revolve around you. Are you saying that all these people came into this place just so that they can antagonize you? And the answer is yes. But your brain is trying to answer that in a logical way that makes sense when you are dealing with forces outside of your conscious perception. So many of you have psyched yourself out. You know the answer is right. You don't know how it's right. This is everything that's being revealed. So it's not as simple as, oh, these people hate you. It's way deeper than that. Your enemy is not flesh and blood, Ephesians 6:12. But I'm just letting you know the reason why you're aware of these dynamics is you've passed the final stage of the Hunger Games. Now in your awakening as a god or goddess, you are recognizing your connection to all living beings, and you see the conflict as something more spiritual, as spirits you're interfacing with. And so different spirits can interface with individual physical beings, but it's not as simple as just on the physical plane. This is proof that you're awakening. And the reason why I'm saying this is you did not allow yourself to be gaslighted. You did not allow, like, when you get hit with this on all angles, when people react negatively to an expression of your authenticity, leveraging some social expectation that has nothing to do with you and who you're being, but who people want you to be, you whooped out your big fat dick and said, suck it. You whooped out your big fat dick and you said, suck it. And now people are mad that you're giving them the privilege and honor to suck your dick. This is how crazy people are. And so just keep this in mind, because you're meeting inauthenticity with authenticity. And the reason why this is so very important is you have now the turnaround coming past this Leo axis, and we're changing everything in Pisces and stepping into a new Aries cycle, is now turning around the dynamic of you now maintaining your sovereignty and coming into power over the same collective influences that try to gaslight you with shame and guilt. Many of you are breaking through 20 hard, long years of a shame guilt matrix that since a little child you've broken out from. And this is why this is a coronation ceremony, because you're reclaiming the sovereignty of your crown and the link that connects you through the Holy Spirit to God, okay? And the goddess, which is the mother of creation. The reason why this is so very important, though, is personally, you'll know you're doing this right because it probably feels weird. If you think about somebody, here's a great analogy. If you think about someone you've always been intimidated by, and you've always felt like they're better than you in a certain way, or you see that they're more favorably received, or they have certain social pull, and now that same individual you realize was really just jealous of you. And it's not as simple as just people being jealous of you. The behavior they exhibit, where you're minding your own business, but they keep antagonizing you because they're jealous of you, because they want your attention. A lot of you have flipped that on its head and you're taking your power back. You're recognizing the intent of what these things are, and how all of this is just in multi-layered, complex ways meant to increase doubting yourself by inducing shame and guilt for being yourself. When you remember this is all an illusion and you don't even need to explain yourself, a lot of you have been releasing this, allowing yourself to just be you. You're starting to see people's true colors now, and how people make shit up just to bait you in a certain thing. It's revealing a lot. And you guys are so amazing that you're even aware of it. The fact that you're aware of this puts you on the upper echelon of souls, where there are millions of souls that are either a part of the programming or given to the programming. Slavery is a choice. Okay, so everyone has made the decision to be where they're in. That's why you can no longer just try and wake people up. That's almost patronizing. People make the decision to be at the places where they're at. So just really keep that in mind. You're now reaching a state with this full moon coronation ceremony where you're a target now. Moon is opposite Saturn. Okay, when Saturn was opposite Pop Smoke Sun, he died. Okay, so like, because you're now making the decision not to be manipulated, the whole social career and the revolution of the individual, the shame guilt matrix, a lot of you are championing things that are against what is commonly seen as, social. And a lot of these things are masked as positive. You need to go out more. You need to stop doing this. This isn't cool. This isn't accepted. So on the surface, it looks positive. You're being pushed to get out your whatever, but really it's gaslighting you. It's telling half truths. It's not acknowledging the full individual reality of who you are. It's picking and choosing what about you to accept while hitting you with rhetoric. You're being hit with persuasion. That's not truth. There's a difference between persuasion and a collective opinion, what a lot of people believe, versus the actual truth, which is your individuality. And so a lot of bitches caved in, compromised, and instead of fighting for their individuality, made it harder for you, because now they demonized you for actually standing up for yourself. But you're not a bitch. You're not a bitch. You're a legend. Okay. And this is where other people may be jealous, because whereas they gave away their birthright, now they're seeing you come into the success, even though you had to go through struggle because you stood for yourself. Where they chose to get comfort instead of struggle. You went through struggle. Now you're coming into success, and they're going through struggle because they never stood up for themselves and they gave away their birthright. So this is why I have to say this, because moving forward, when we go through Pisces land, you're going to get hit with the height of psychological mindfuckery and gaslighting. But now through Aquarius, you know who you are. And this is your coronation, because everything's going to change and everything's going to happen. And through Pisces, you're going to change the neural pathways with which constitute the ingraining of your behavior to create a different response, where now you're not going to let yourself get gaslighted. Now you're standing on your value. A lot of you aren't holding back anymore. You're like, bitch, I'm a unicorn fairy, bitch. I don't care if science says I'm not, bitch. I'm a fucking unicorn, bitch. Like, and let me just clap for you. Let me just clap for you. Let me just clap for you, because that's not how you were 2016. That's not how you were 2012. You're like, yeah, no, I'm a human, even though, I believe I'm a fairy. Like, no, I really, I'm kind of like a fairy. Yeah, I get it. And I know it's not scientifically proven. So yeah, I'm a human, but I'm just kind of like a fairy. Now you're like, no, bitch, your scientist got it wrong, bitch. I'm a fairy, bitch. Fuck with me. I'll get my fairy niggas right now, bitch. I'm a unicorn, bitch. And let me just clap for you. You need to understand how it had to take you a while to get here. Okay. Where now you're just fully like, this is you're ready for Jupiter and Aries. Now that you know you're a unicorn, you're starting Jupiter and Aries as that unicorn. You're not holding back. And it's not being in denial. It's not being in denial, because in this process, there are certain aspects of yourself. I'm a metal horse in Chinese astrology too, 1990, that the universe had to call you out and be like, yo, you're delusional. That's not you. So everything that you're acknowledging who you are is based on truth. I'm not trying to enable people who believe they're the goddess Isis, and it's like, honey, you're not. You're not. Okay, you're Becky. You're Becky from Cali, and there's nothing wrong with being Becky. You really like be yourself. But some of you are also the other way. The universe is showing you, listen, 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 listen. You are an incarnate. You are a chosen one, and you're not believing it because of what other people are trying to tell you. You're not supposed to explain it to other people. You only owe it to God, period. So this is like realigning that focus. And so this is where y'all are not holding back anymore. You know what and who you are. And this is that coronation ceremony. The sun on Aquarius is literally the crown, and the moon in Leo is literally the finalizing aspect here, as you can see, that brings all of this into fruition quite powerfully. If I might add, 29 degrees. Okay. And so you're now feeling in the confidence to express the knowledge of who you are. Like, hey, I'm a unicorn. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you can walk into, before 10 years ago, thank you. This is crazy. This is square Uranus. This is square Uranus. So, like, the eccentricity is at an all on high because you can back it up. So, like 10 years ago, you were in a room full of professionals and like professional, like doctors, scientists, plumbers, and they're like, "What do you do?" And you're like, "I'm a magician." And they're like, "This dude's funny." No, really, like, what do you do? And they're like, "No, I'm a magician. Like, I make dreams come true. I read cards for people. I divine." And they're like, "Oh my God, cuckoo, this person's crazy." Versus now, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And like before, you know what I'm saying? You're like now having to prove yourself to people, like, no, this is actually real. Like, there's studies here and science is here. And you're trying to dumb down the essence of what you do to make sense of people who don't even know what you're about and how miraculous you are. Now it's 2022. You're walking in that room like, yeah, here's my card. I'm a professional magician. I'll change your whole life. And people be laughing like, I know you're not laughing. Like, didn't you eat paprika last night? And isn't your great grandma called Bridget? And they're like, oh my God, how did she know about my dead great grandma? Like, now you backing it up, son. Now you backing it up, son. It's like, yeah, don't play with me. I'm a magician for real. Like, holla at me. You tell your scientists to call me too. They can run experiments. Holla. Thank you. Like, that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. We done come a long way. Yes, to Leslie Michelle. Yes. This will double the experience, and you'll feel it more into your goals. But like, this is where we are, son. Jupiter and Pisces is giving us that experience, and your integrity and authenticity in yourself is what's carrying you through. I've said this back in 2018. I'll say this now. I don't care about all these skeptics, about astrology. I've been about it. Okay. I am like all, there's so many people who have hundreds and thousands of subscribers. There's celebrities that have millions of followers. They pussy though. They can't be on TV. Once it's time for them to go live on TV, they're scared. I don't know what to say. What am I gonna do? Y'all rock with me for hours. I can talk about the truth for hours. I'm TV ready now. You put a makeup artist on me. Any one of you live television hosts, stop ducking smoke. All of you science podcasts, you entertainment podcasts, the peace dealer is ready. He's not running from y'all. I'm not these fake astrologers who can't do it. I will read any of your charts live. You're not seeing me. We will have a live, like, I am ready. Like, I do this for real. They know I'm the GOAT here. I will read you the filth live. Who doesn't believe in astrology? I will go to your hood with your demographic of non-believers. They can all clown me. I will read your chart. If you want to lie and say that shit's not accurate, then it's live that you lied. I ain't gonna smoke. That's an open challenge to any of you. I will go on your live podcast or network television show, and I will read your chart live. I will show you astrology for real. Y'all scared. Y'all talking shit. You won't get the real astrologist to come through. That's why you got TikTok and IG trying to ban it too. You're not ready. You're not ready. By the way, for those of you who are ordained by spirit to do what you do, them banning you, that should not scare you. Bring it up and talk about it. You know, shout out to Cosmic Drugs because she the GOAT. And so she's mentioning it. But people like her and people who are authentic to this, they don't have to worry. This is actually going to weed away all the scammers and all the people who don't even really do this right anyway. Okay, so keep that in mind. People are telling this to me, but what they don't realize is 2015, the algorithm changed. 2016, they've been shadow banning me. 2017, they've been sneak deleting videos. 2018, they've been blocking my lives. Like what they're doing to y'all now, they've been doing to me for years. I have 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, and like my views don't get more than like 3,000, 2,000. People ask me how come they didn't know I go live. They have been suppressing me for years because they scared. They are scared. I have Pisces and Aquarius people randomly telling me who don't know each other, oh yeah, you get watched by secret society organization. They are scared, son. They are scared of your boy. That's why they took down natural immunity, because I went in. They didn't like the fact that I went in. Okay, new platforms are coming. By the way, when I'm going to join Donald Trump's Truth Network, and I'm gonna leave Facebook and Instagram. Y'all gonna have to find me on there if you want to find me. Like I'm about to do that. Okay, I don't think you know what time it is. But other than that, Hermes bringing the messages. See, they're even unsubscribing people. Like, y'all scared. YouTube, why you scared? YouTube is because I expose you. We make money together. Why are you scared? Why are you scared? I see you, though. It is what it is. It is what it is. So the important thing with this is this full moon is establishing coronation, coming into a new moon in Pisces, where you're going to experience the height of your royalty. Everyone has royalty, whether you embody it or you connect with it in a higher aspect of yourself. The thing that I really want to establish here, though, is this unconscious, because these dark forces think they slick, but you leveled up. You leveled up so hard over the past 12 years. So what I kind of want to establish once again is this very unconventional sense of gaslighting that if you're not careful, it will take you at least 1 degree off of your path. The dark forces don't want to show up with devil horns, because then you'll be like, oh, you're evil. No, they're going to show up as that friend that you don't know is an agent that was literally paid to derail you. And they're going to speak your language. Oh, I'm spiritual too. And they're going to be 99% your wave. But that 1% is going to take you slowly off your path. But you're not going to notice it. You're just veering off 1% until eventually you off your path. And so you have to go as hard as the people who hit you not with 0%, as hard as people who hit you with 99%, because it's all connected. That's what you're going to realize. It's all connected. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. So you can't get angry at the flesh human puppet suits who are puppets to do this. There's a spirit behind everything you experience. So keep that in mind, because you're going to deal with people who openly antagonize you and be like, you're delusional, you don't know what you're talking about, gaslighting who you are. And then you're going to deal with people who, you know, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you say, but not this. You probably need to change this. Like, try and be sensitive. They're trying to guilt trip you. That's a form of it. Or I agree totally with what you're saying. I mean, I believe a little bit like this, but I agree with. That's a form of gaslighting. I'm not saying to look at everyone as your enemy, but you need to notice the subtle dynamics of a collective unconscious vibration that works through everyone to subtly undermine you. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's science. Every sign has an opposition and a square. So no matter who you are, you will have an op. This is just its way of expressing itself. The fact that you have an opposition makes you stronger, because instead of running away from that conflict, you can use that test to level up. So welcome opposition, welcome the gaslighting, just put it in its fucking place, because these motherfuckers think they're slick and they want you to give away your power. They're going to use guilt tripping, manipulation, and shame. Think about all the people that they try to shame 2020 for telling the truth, only for them 2022, like I predicted 2021, to now turn. I predicted this last year, by the way. Y'all know. Y'all know me. Y'all know I did. Y'all know I'm not even the only one who did. Some of y'all proposed this in the comments, and like they're now starting to backtrack 2022. And so it's like, if you didn't believe in yourself 2020, how dumb would you look 2022 when everything that you believe actually was still the truth? This is going to happen on a much more intense level. 2020, 2021 was to prepare you for 2022, 2023. Okay. And especially 2024. So this is where, thank you. This is where personally, what you want to realistically understand is, in you sitting perfectly in the alignment of who you are, that's what's going to recognize and reveal who other people are. It's night and day now. There's certain things, like you can play a song that is the embodiment of who you are, and by the lack of people's enthusiasm, you can tell they're uncomfortable. But then you play a song that's inauthentic, it's fake, and then they're like, yay, that lets you know all they are. That lets, it doesn't matter. Like, and you can get confused because of compatibility and certain things you have in common, but you have to remember people are picking sides. Like, it's real now. So like if you play like this, how do you know if they're an agent? Remember, agent is a representative. So people label a bad term to agent. In a sense, everyone's an agent. But in the term that you mean, you'll know that someone is an agent because you'll call out who they represent. So an agent usually represents a higher organization. Are you representing your higher self? You'll know that someone is an agent because of a lack of authenticity, where their individuality will shine. Instead, you're seeing them represent a higher force. You're seeing, in the case with which most people mean it, agents represent collective group mind hive thoughts. If you think about agents in the Matrix too, who turn everyone else into them, an agent is not. So when we talk about agent in the terms that it's seen, you have an individual. So what makes someone an agent is that they're not really them. Their thoughts, their beliefs, and their behaviors are a regurgitation of societal expectations and rules, traditions, okay? Which, because it's not them, they're deceiving you. That's not what they really think. They may have convinced themselves they believe this, but they're agents. Does that make sense? Like they're not even really them. All they are is everything their parents taught them, society taught them. And so they live out that program and they antagonize you, who is authentic. They influence you to be like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how things are done. When traditions that have carried for centuries to define different cultures, you have been taught define you. No, it doesn't. It could be a part of you, but it doesn't define you. And why is that important? Because when you deviate from those traditions and cultures, you start to get gaslighted. We don't do things like that around here. Suck my dick. I do things the way I want to. Behavior like this is seen as selfish. This is where you get shame and guilt manipulated. So be very careful, because so much of this is collective. It's seen as a good thing. Certain things that you're just meant to do, framed in a way that if you argue against, now you're being unreasonable. Like, we always eat Thanksgiving every year. Why do you have to be super woke? That is a gaslighting technique and mechanism. Even in the fake way where it's like, well, let's just honor your wishes. We're not conformists over here. This is a revolution of the individual. Seriously. Some people can't breathe without people feeling a certain type of way. And so the most revolutionary thing you could be is authentically you. Like, that's villainous now. And so you got to be a bad guy. Okay, so it is what it is. And this is where your authenticity is key. That's Chiron and Aries. Key, Chiron, Aries, authenticity. Authenticity is key, even if it gets you in trouble. That's what's going to get you through. This coronation is the mastery and fullness of you in fully standing in the courage to express the knowledge of the fullness of who you are, whether people get offended or not. Jesus Christ told the Pharisees, listen, I'm older than your monarch. And Pharisees are like, excuse me, how are you older than our patriarch? You're younger than me, nigga. You're not even 30. You're not even 33, Jesus. And these Pharisees are like 50, 60. They're like, bitch, I'm older than you, nigga. How are you older than Abraham? And Jesus said, look, before Abraham was, I am. In walking this Christian path and being like Christ, whether you, and many of you, see, and this is why like fake Christians that judge other people, they're not like Christ. Because there are a lot of people who don't study Christianity that are Christians. They may be Muslims, they may be Buddhists. It's not about saying you believe in this biblical version of Christ. Being a Christian is just being authentic to the Christ within you. It's being like Christ. It's being enlightened. It's aligning your life with logic and treating others the way you want to be treated. It's literally that simple. So there's so much indoctrination and rules that got added on it to veer people away and separate people. But the true message of Christ literally is to treat other people the way you've been treated. So everything about Jesus's path. Why are you walking around with that tax collector? Why are you healing on the Sabbath? Why are you talking to that woman at the well? Okay, why are you washing these women's feet like you're the son of God? How are you doing this? A lot of you are mirroring that in your path. You share in the same struggle that Jesus went to. Every time that you claim your divinity, you're seen as crazy. You're seen as weird. Okay, why are you hanging around that tarot reader? Why are you hanging around these Orisha people? Okay, it's literally a mirroring of that. Where if people treated you the way they want to be treated, there'd be an understanding that will replace the judgment where their own book says you shouldn't fucking judge. So keep that in mind, because he said, before Abraham was, I am. He didn't say I was, he said I am. And them niggas got so mad. Stone this nigga. Stone him. I'm purposefully being vulgar, by the way. I like to curse because as a 32-year-old man, I turned 32 in June. As a 31-year-old man, given my age and how as an older age, I have to exemplify myself as a certain standard of masculinity. Now I have to whoop my dick out and be a childish ass motherfucker. It's not fair. It's not comfortable either. I have to not enable people to think that I have to live into some standard of masculinity or maleness. Because as a 31-year-old, I'm supposed to be mature, even though I have the mind of a child. Like I have a Gemini mind. So you fucked up there. Like I'm totally gonna rebel. But I'm not blaming astrology for this. This is where, as a 31-year-old man, I have to be a certain level of mature. I'm not supposed to talk in a certain way. And now as a rebel, I literally have to break through all of those stereotypes by being a childish asshole. I don't have to be, but this is a method in which I do, just so that I don't enable people to think that I have to live like it. There's so much complex manipulation. You're going through this too. A lot of you as women are breaking through the nature of how you're supposed to be ladylike. You have to be you as a soul. You're not supposed to be ladylike. That's based on what, if you want to be classy and ladylike, that's your decision, not because of a social construct that forces you to be. Welcome to the revolution of the individual. So, yes, I'm a Taurus rising. I'm stubborn as fuck. I am so stubborn. I am so stubborn. I'm Venus in Taurus too. I love Taurus, by the way, because we're so stubborn. Like that's one of the styles I love Taurus. So I'm gonna be, and this is the thing. So here's the thing. Many of you are breaking through that too. In the expression of your true divinity. I'm not talking about in the expression of some weird imaginary person you think you are. Because there are people who think that they're someone they're not. I'm talking about you who have walked this path and you've been revealed who you know you truly are. Other people have confirmed it. You have synchronicities. Moving forward, You're fully embodying this. Like the Pisces transit is going to have you experience the transcendence of fully being who you've always been. And for some of you, that's a king, that's a queen, that's a god, that's a goddess. Okay, that's an awakened warrior, and you're no longer compromising. I even want to show you how, as of present, Mars has officially conjuncted Venus. Okay, it has begun. It has begun. This full moon has begun a new cycle. Many of you are going to break through in relationship constructs, platonically and or romantically, that are going to go the distance. Everything that constituted Venus going direct led up to the 17-degree 8 numerology of action, I decide, in Capricorn. So moving forward, as the moon returns back to Capricorn and we go into the balsamic phase, that new moon in Pisces, March 2nd, is going to kick you into the most divine start. And so what is it? Shout out to the Black Swan. What is it? We are separating the wheats and tares. Yes. Okay. And what is it personally, right, that very powerfully harvest? We are at the harvest. What is it that we're harvesting? Supernatural happiness, or supernatural energy expressed through happiness. Let's go, both team. So this is so very important, because what you're stepping into over the next week, as we can see, the moon will harvest in another week from now. It's going to be in Scorpio. It's going to come out of Scorpio and then be in Capricorn at the end of next week. So what this is doing exceptionally is the new moon, you planted seeds. The first quarter square, it broke through ground. And then the full moon, we're harvesting. So from full moon to the next quarter square, where the sun will be in Pisces, you're harvesting those crops. Well, what did you sow the seeds for? All the knowledge and energy of your supernatural being. Or we can just say the total knowledge of your higher being. You're now harvesting the energetic understanding, the courage to fully flesh this through. It's like in the series of activations, Aquarius is second to last. Pisces is going to be the last layer, where Pisces season, we go through one more cycle and we fully experience the transcendence. Now that Aquarius had you know you're a unicorn, you're going to experience it with all its super magical synchronization. And in Aries season, you are it. Aries season is now with Jupiter and Aries, a brand new cycle coming into 2023, so that you're in a position to actually embody this and now define your actions and individuality, now that you've awakened all this power. So let's go back to 2010, because 2010 created the identity. And from 2010 to 2016, you fleshed out the personality. And then from 2016 to 2022, you actually completed that personality with the understanding and awakened all the powers of this, so that 2023, now you're starting a new cycle with this new identity and all those powers. Scar, thank you so much. All glory to the Most High. Okay. The last thing I have to really say, with the square to Uranus, slightly to Saturn, and of course Pluto here, in another, you know what I'm saying, month, in another 2 weeks, Mars and Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto. So the harvest of this supernatural cycle with Aquarius is going to realistically have you tap more into the higher end of this supernatural understanding. By the time we come into the ascended soul, Moon Sag, you're going to see you using the higher level of your abilities. The synchronization level of your abilities is terrifying, because you're quickly realizing that you're way stronger than you could have ever imagined. And now you're getting ready to apply this higher knowledge. The application is through the experience of Pisces that will now have you develop divine magical abilities relative to this higher knowledge. And the main thing that I really just want to express is that you don't really have to worry how to really tap into this. This is more of a mindset approach. You are going to get hit with the last level, because as this breaks through in Aries coming into May, Many of you will never, ever, ever have to deal with this complex psychological gaslighting that you've ever dealt with. Some of you have dealt with it your whole life. So you don't know anything other than that. And you feel like this is just a part of your life that you'll have to deal with forever. And what you don't realize is that after this period, you're done for life. And you're going to step into so much freedom and expression being you without the guilt or shame of sharing your ideas. And the last hump is next month. March is the last hump, where in the fog of Pisces, expanded with Jupiter, you're going to get hit with all that shame and guilt for having the audacity to fully believe in yourself, where people try and guilt manipulate you and be like, how dare you, like you're clearly a human, why do you think you're a unicorn? Think about the people who you can hurt. You're being so selfish. Meanwhile, all you're doing is actually staying true to you. Like, you're legitimately are a unicorn. And so if people use Pisces, about to troll everybody, shout out to Pisces. And for those, I'm using an extreme example like unicorn because this is extreme. I'm using an extreme example that's controversial. Your very individuality is controversial. And so this is what we're bringing into. You have a lot of cowards who care so much about what other people think, they're not going to stand up for what they know is true about themselves because they think that they're weird. They've allowed society to convince them that they're weird. Okay. When the only thing weird about you is that you're supernatural. It's stupid people who think you're crazy. You've proved this. You have proved this. You have proved this. And because some of you are outnumbered and you feel like not enough people believe it, that it's not as strong. And you have to remember it's quality. What fixed signs teach you is that it's quality over quantity. Quality. All they have is quantity, and all their superpower is to deceive. All these niggas can do is lie. Like, that's all they're good at doing. Capping. All they're good at doing is maintaining a false image to look successful, but they're not. That's what the universe wanted to teach you. The universe stripped you of all of the easy way to get it. It's like, listen, we're not going to have you look good. We're going to have you be good. We have to teach you how to feel good, okay, on your own without any external validation. And you walked that hard, long path, which for some of you was easy and fun. So keep that in mind, because you had other people. It was people made the decision. You chose to go through this. What other people chose to do is, I want it quick. I want it easy. So they didn't do the spiritual work. They just wanted to, on the outer level, look good. So you have idiots who run the people who look professional. You see how I be cursing? You see how I like act childish? Like, I like to put myself out in a childish way and say, suck my dick. You have very poised, professional people. They, of course, work on their beard. They work on their edge up. They look nice. They wear GQ shirts. You know what I'm saying? They talk in a very alluring way. They have hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're fucking scam artists. They're Simon the Swindlers. They sold you on that image because they know that's what you look for. They know that's what you demonize other people for. You don't look the part. Well, you idiots, not you watching me, but these idiots fell for people who look the part, but they're not that inside. And then they dismissed you, who is that inside, but didn't feel the need to show it on the outside because you didn't have to. And so you had people run away from people, from you to people who look good. This also applied in love. A lot of you dated people who didn't appreciate you because you didn't have the flyest clothes, or you didn't have the most followers, or you didn't, you know what I'm saying? They had to go to these people who look the part, but treat them like shit, just so they can run back to you and realize what they lost, only for you to be like, well, you missed your chance. Because some of you don't want to let these people back and give them the impression that you're a second option. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully your self-esteem has risen to the point where now what's happening is, now that you've shown the universe that you have it on the inside, you're being blessed with the external gifts. Now you're getting the followers. Now you're getting the external success because you have the internal integrity to deal with it. You're not going to be scamming people with extra money and extra trust. You did it. This is why you need to clap for yourself. And this is why the dark forces cannot stop you. So what they're going to do coming into next month is make you feel guilty for every victory you have, for every development you have. Oh, what you do, the way you do it is weird. You're getting unsolicited opinions from people unconsciously that you never asked for, or consciously. That's a form of gaslighting. You don't have to entertain that. Just tell them to suck your dick. That's Chiron and Aries. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And personally, congratulations. For the next 2 weeks, you're harvesting. For the next week, you're harvesting everything that you've put in work to establish. You built the foundation from the inside out. And I want you to look at the next couple of weeks as unpacking the treasure of your own energy and being put in a position to harness that so you can manifest magical effects. Pisces season is what's going to have you master the magic you're manifesting. That's Cap, Aqua, Pisces. And then we start with Aries, individualizing with all that. Taurus, eclipse, manifesting all that. And then Gemini, coming out into the social real world, expressing all that with new magical abilities. Okay. So, yeah. This is definitely very important, because what's going to occur is that in the harnessing of this final knowledge, the next 2 days is going to give you the final piece of the puzzle of this collective knowledgeable understanding of how to transform, really how to make real sense of this. In another couple hours, when the moon goes into Virgo, you're going to start to really feel this. Godspeed, ladies and gentlemen. The only, for this coronation ceremony, I want you to play a song and perform it. I want you to play one song that encapsulates who you are becoming, who you are, and I want you to perform it. Close your eyes and perform it to the sun or to the moon. And in performing that, establish the next level of who you are ascending into and how you will take no shit. To be completely honest, and how you're going to own up to it moving forward. And whoever aligns authentically, I'm not saying whoever like sugarcoats, because now flattering you and sugarcoating you is a form of gaslighting. Okay. So whoever authentically aligns with you maintaining that vibration is a part of your tribe. Whoever comes up and opposes you is an antagonist. You must honor the antagonist as much as you honor the one a part of your tribe, because iron sharpens iron. So you overcoming people who criticize you makes you stronger. It's not something you should run away from. You want to look for opposition. Oh, okay. These people don't think I'm a unicorn. I'm about to get more scapegoats. These idiots don't even know I'm a unicorn for real. You don't want to get nervous from that, because you know that who you are is who you are. This is where this is going to strengthen it. This is where this is going to literally have you come into more of that. So don't give in to the psychological gaslighting. This only happening because you're so powerful that now, because they listen, you're dealing with people who thought you wouldn't get this far. I promise you, they felt that with their passive aggressive behavior, you would change your actions. You didn't change your actions. So that means they wasted their time and you won. You weren't even trying to make it win or lose. They set you up to be a loser. You won. So you're going to face a lot of passive aggressive, collective unconscious anger. And you're going to break through it by just being yourself. Like, ha ha. You don't have to be childish like me because I'm hashtag petty gang. But congratulations. When I end this broadcast, I want you to listen to one song that you can perform, because Leo is performance. Perform it to your higher self and then watch the magic unfold. Y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time. And join me in like 5 minutes, because I'm going to go live with Pernell, and we're going to, shoot the shit.